And thank you for joining us on the program, everyone. Tonight on Beyond the Headlines, we turn our attention as party politics intensifies. The African Democratic Congress says it's targeting 14 million registered members ahead of the 2027 general elections. It's an ambitious number in an already crowded political field. But before strategy and statistics, a dramatic development that we're following right now, former Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai is alleging an attempted unlawful arrest at the Abuja airport. An allegation his legal team describes as executive overreach, constitutional violation, and abuse of state power. Security agencies have yet to issue a formal counter statement, but the development raises serious concerns and serious questions whether or not this is routine law enforcement or Nigeria is entering a dangerous phase of political tension ahead of the big one in 2027. And as both major and emerging parties race to build numbers, I'm sure you're aware that the APC is targeting over 20 million members and the ADC aiming for 14. What does real political strength look like in today's Nigeria? Joining me first on the program today is Chile Igbawa, chieftain of the the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Mr. Igbawa, thank you for joining us on the program this evening. Let me get your reaction first on the reported seizure of Malam El-Rufai's passport at the Abuja airport earlier today. His lawyers are citing certain sections of the Constitution. From your reading, were those rights violated?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and good evening, viewers. I think that the approach that our law enforcement agencies are taking are not the best for us. This is a citizen of Nigeria who is well established, who cannot escape the arms of the law, and to waylay him on his return to the country at the airport doesn't give us the best of images. And I think, just like he rightly said, he needed an invitation. If you're an agency that you can invite somebody to come to be interrogated, the proper thing to do is to invite the person, and it's only when he fails that you attempt to use coercion to get him to come to interrogate.
If security agencies say they were simply enforcing, let's say, an EFCC invitation, would you or the ADC still call it overreach?
No, if EFCC has invited him, I don't think he would be saying he needed an invitation. That's simply what he was asking for. He said, give me an invitation, then I will come. And there are rules for serving, processes on people. If you want to have somebody come to you for interrogation, you have to write to him and deliver in the proper way. If you can't get him, there's also a process of delivery that you can do, a substitute process. So it is only when the direct delivery phase and then the substitute process fails that you begin to, apply the kind of, process that they were trying to enforce to the airport.
Let's talk about ADC for a minute. Your party is eyeing 14 million members. What is the current verified number today?
We don't have that figure handy because we are still collating. And there is a massive registration going on. And today we had a formal flag off of the registration. What delayed us was that, the transition from the former ADC to the new ADC, they had to stop issuance of cards because the cards that were available were signed by the former officials, both national chairman and national secretary. So they slowed down the process of issuing cards. So I will not give you a figure now, it will not be correct.
So this registration that has kick-started, is it physical or digital? Because I'm sure you are also hearing from the APC that says it has a transparent database that is digital.
Yeah, we had a demonstration today at the flag off for both manual registration and then digital registration, which you can on your own from any part of the country sit down with your phone and register and get your card and go print out your card, laminate it, and hang on your shirt. So it's fully digitalized. for those who have the technical knowledge to do that. But then for those who do not have, they will resort to manual registration, which is available at the wards as it is in every party in accordance with the provisions of the Electoral Act. So we're pursuing both simultaneously, both manual registration and then digital registrations.
You know, it's important that we're able to verify these numbers because political parties are now brandishing numbers. APC says it's registered over 11 million. It's targeting 20 million. A chieftain of your party says ADC is looking at 14 million. E-registration would capture NINs and polling unit data. Is that priority for ADC? Are your numbers something an average Nigerian can verify going into this election?
Certainly. We have the VIN as one of the main bases. First, you have to have a telephone number, and then you have to have a VIN, which is the voter's card. So we're concentrating more on even those who have voters' cards, because you should have that. Otherwise, you'll be an empty member joining us. We know when the time comes for voting, you may not be able to vote. So our system is such that it can be viewed by the public. It's very transparent. And it is also possible for the party to sit at the headquarters and get into the back end of the system and know who is there, how many females have registered, how many males, how many people in each of the polling units throughout the country. So it's a very transparent process. The manual registrations that are going on at the moment, are also going to be transferred, because it is a provision of the Electoral Act that the party has to submit both the hard copy and then the electronic copy of the membership registers to INEC. So both processes are ongoing, and they will be harmonized, because in the end, they must be, those who register manually must also come online, and those who come online will also have to have the details available in a hard copy register at their ward, so they will go to, to conduct primaries.
Critics say membership numbers don't automatically translate into votes. If you're reading what's happening right now, it looks like a lot of politicians are moving to the APC. They now have 29 governors. The deputy speaker in Nasarawa just moved from the PDP to the ruling party. What is ADC's conversion strategy moving into this election?
Well, you are aware that people have also started moving from other parties into the ADC, as you witnessed on the 31st of December last year, where, Peter Obi moved from Labour Party. And some serving senators and members of the House of Representatives also moved from their parties to the ADC. And I assure you that in the next couple of days or weeks, you are going to see a wave of persons moving from their present parties into the African Democratic Congress, both those who are in the legislature and, of course, in the executive. The number of governors that are moving to the APs do not worry us. We are carefully studying it through our strategy system. We know there are some who are moving under duress because they have no option than to move. And for those ones, we do not think that they are very useful to the APC anyway, but so be that they will move. But we have always said that the number of governors you have can either be a positive or a negative. A poorly performing governor who moves from his party to the APC brings poverty of votes to the APC. So it doesn't add the numbers. Most of the governors are moving without the people. I know of people who have decamped, and they have took time, and they took a lot of time to get people convinced to move along with them, and they say, no, they're not going to move. So we're not worried about the numbers. Governors, we're going to have governors move to the ADC, but we're not emphasizing on that. That is why we're emphasizing on the people. The 2027 election is going to be between the APC and the Nigerian people, not the ADC and governors or ADC and presidents, because the level of disappointment of Nigerians is beyond a public office holder.
I like that you're focusing on the people, but history has also shown us that since 1999, nobody has become president without a significant support of governors in Nigeria, except you're saying that 2027 is going to be different. By the way, you still have 6 more governors who are not members of the APC. How many of them are you optimistic would join your party in ahead of the 2027 election?
I do not want to preempt them, but I want to tell you that it is not only those under the APC that may move to the ADC. You just wait and see. We also have people moving, governors move from the APC to the ADC. And let's wait and see. We don't want to preempt them. But like I said, we are focusing on numbers. We always make this example. By the time that Peter Obi came into the 2023 elections, he had no governor, he had no member of the Senate, he had virtually no, the Labour Party had virtually nothing. But he was able to garner over 6 million votes. So it shows you that a party that organizes itself properly and a party that appeals to Nigerians can get votes delivered irrespective of whether they have elected officials or not. As a matter of fact, elected officials can be a positive effect. It can also be a negative effect. So we don't want to emphasize on that. But we are concentrating on the people at the grassroots.
Good place to leave it. I've been speaking with Chile Igbawa, chieftain of the African Democratic Congress. Thank you so much for talking to us on Beyond the Headlines.
I appreciate it.